Good morning. So today we'll be discussing two important international organizations. Rather, these are two important financial institutions in the world. So one is the World Bank and second one is the IMF. And kindly remember, both are located in Washington, DC. So with respect to this World Bank and IMF, though both of them are the financial institutions, the purpose is different. So let's try to identify what exactly is the difference between this World Bank and IMF. But otherwise, before we start a discussion on WTO, that is World Trade Organization, we mentioned that there was a Bretton Woods conference, and in that conference, a decision has been taken place to establish three institutions. One was the GATT, and second one was World Bank, and third one is the so-called this IMF. Okay, so right, instead of using the word World Bank, we said IBRD. So right, so now we are going to come across with this, what is IBRD and with this World Bank. Otherwise, the decisions were taken in the Bretton Woods conference, and GATT was basically meant for trade purposes, and IBRD and IMF were for financial purposes. That is the reason why these two put together is called Bretton Woods twins. Okay, and both came into existence in the same year, and both are located in the same place, that is Washington, DC, that is in United States of America. And another important similarity is that, please remember all the points. If any country is a member of IMF, it will also become the member of the World Bank. That's it. Meaning, if you ask me the strength of World Bank, I'll say 189. And if I ask you immediately what is the strength of IMF, again you should be able to say 189. If World Bank is 189, IMF is also 189. Am I clear? So this is one similarity. So, but when it comes to the functioning, the style of functioning is different, and the purpose of the establishment is also different. Clear? So let's try to understand these points. But before we look into the details of this, what is the basic differences between World Bank and IMF, let's try to understand what exactly is this World Bank, how it is established, and what is the structure. And then we'll see IMF, and we'll see the function, the structure and the establishment. Then we'll try to understand the differences. But kindly remember, these two are the financial institutions. Kindly remember, these are not the only two institutions that are providing loans, but otherwise you have some other institutions called Asian Development Bank, and recently you got this new development bank, that is nothing but a BRICS bank. So many are there, but since beginning these two are playing very crucial role. And kindly see here, since beginning a tradition has been established that World Bank is headed by an American. And with respect to World Bank, America, the biggest contributor, largest contributor for the World Bank is the United States of America. That is the reason why even today also the domination of the World Bank is continuing, right? And if you come to this, this second biggest contributor is Japan. So it has the second largest voting share. So the more votes you have, more domination you have. And of course, since the beginning, United States of America is considered to be a big brother, and that big brother is big in all the areas, maybe economy, maybe finances, maybe the military wise, maybe the strength of the government wise, politics wise, so the same thing is continued. But otherwise, even today also, there is a domination of United States of America in World Bank. And that is the reason why for the first time in the year 2011, the American domination has been questioned by the BRICS nations. And the BRICS nations also contested in the so-called this election for the World Bank president. But otherwise, at the end of the day, the person who was supported by America got elected. Okay, so Jim Yong Kim, so he is the present president for World Bank. So, but we are expecting that lots of reforms will take place as various nations are becoming very, very strong economic wise. And their, contributions to the World Bank is also increasing. Obviously, the oat share will also increase. So, but it takes time. But just like any other organization, even the World Bank and also IMF also required, the reforms. Let me open the document first. We'll start discussing on World Bank, then we'll see IMF, then so we discuss about the differences between these two, right? Otherwise, the functions look alike. Both are giving, okay, but why are you giving the loans? That is important. Am I clear? Now, let's look into this. Look at this. World Bank was established in the year 1945 and it's located in Washington, DC. So, with respect to official languages, Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish are the same languages what we use in United Nations. Same languages, 6 languages, right? So, with respect to World Bank, it provides loans to the developing countries, right? Look at this. Basically, when this World Bank was established, the idea of establishing the bank is the reconstruction of all the nations. Otherwise, with World War Number Two, so many countries have lost and they became very desperate. So during that particular time, a decision was taken to establish the World Bank so that the loans will be given. So that the loans will be given to the various nations and they can start reconstructing. So, but over a period of that, in this particular manner, France was the first country to receive, the loan from this World Bank. But otherwise, over a period of time, so the target has been changed and they are targeting more towards the developing nations. And the basic intention of the World Bank is to eliminate, basic aim is to eliminate the, poverty across the globe, right? Elimination in the sense, first they will try to reduce it and maybe over a period of time that will be eliminated. That's the reason why whatever the loans that are being given by the World Bank, that will be used for the development purposes, maybe in the education, so maybe in the infrastructure, right? So like maybe providing the health facilities, there the money has to be, this invested, right? And apart from this one, if a country takes the loan, World Bank has the right to track that loan. Okay, they will track the loan and they will watch where exactly the money is being spent. Meaning is simple. World Bank is very, very specific, and the World Bank will give the loans for a specific purpose. If India takes the loan for spending money on the development of education system in India, that money must be spent only for that. Because of any reason, if the money is diverted, World Bank takes it seriously, and next time onwards, getting loans will become very, very difficult. Is that okay? I was telling you, every country in the world today is a sovereign nation. They have the right to take a decision within their own country, and there will be no external pressure on any country from outside. But kindly remember, since the World Bank is giving the loan, it also has the right to give the directions where you can spend the loan. If you are accepting for that, take the loan. We are not disturbing your sovereignty. We are not forcing you to take the loan. All right. But once you take the loan, where you need to spend it. So this is the agreement. That is the reason why the sovereignty principle will not come into the picture, and no country's sovereignty is affected. After all, World Bank is talking about the development. Obviously, every country wants the development. Am I clear? That is the reason why some people will criticize, especially in India, the political parties that are there in the opposition. They criticize the government that you are bending your head before the World Bank to get the loans. Obviously, you need, because you are bending your head for the people of the nation. You are bending your head for the development of the nation. You are bending your head for the development of the infrastructure in the nation. Obviously, that has to be accepted. Not just in India, every country follows the same principles. Am I clear? And if you read the news also, very frequently you will see that visit of the World Bank officials to various countries. Clear? And especially when it comes to India, that is, that's one of the news in the papers and our TV channels. They will come, they will visit, and they will track the development, and the report will be submitted back to the World Bank, so that World Bank will be releasing the next installment of the loans. Am I clear? So much of tracking is done by the World Bank. Once again, open the document, please. Look at. It provides loans to the developing countries. Reduction of the poverty is the official goal of the World Bank. And the World Bank has got two institutions. One is IBRD, it stands for International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Second one is the IDA, it stands for International Development Association. As of now, the strength of IBRD is 189. Till recent times, it was 188, and very recently, in this year 2016, a nation that is called Nauru became a member, and the number became 189. This is the latest member, please. This is the latest member of, this IBRD. There is a World Bank, and also the, what do you call, IMF. Important. As the strength is changing here, the strength in IMF also changes automatically. And when it comes to the strength of IDA, International Development Association, the strength is 173. Am I clear? Kindly see here. Here the strength of IBRD, World Bank, and the IMF should be equal. It's equal every time. And the first president of World Bank was Eugene Mayer. He belongs to United States of America. And current president is Korean American physician Jim Yong Kim. Jim Yong Kim, and the term will be for 5 years. Kindly remember, who is the present president of World Bank is important, and what is the term of the World Bank president, that is also important. Generally, what happens is that what is expected from the World Bank, the qualifications of this World Bank president is that he should have a very sound knowledge, in the this finances, but need not be. It's not necessary every time. So there were so many examples in the history of the World Bank where the people without the knowledge of the this economics, so they may have some exposure, but are not expert in the economics. They were also elected as the World Bank president. Am I clear now? Look at this. What is the term? 5 years. Look at this. So through this Bretton Woods conference, 3 agreements were made to set up IBRD, IMF, and GATT. You already know this. As a custom, the World Bank is headed by an American. And as a custom, IMF is headed by, this European. And if you look at it today, IMF chief is from France. Now, so another important point, generally asked question in the examination is that which is the country that is the first recipient of the loan from World Bank? Clear? The answer is, it is France. So with respect to shareholders, America is the largest shareholder and Japan is the second largest shareholder. Votes wise also, America is the largest, has the largest votes, and Japan has the second largest votes. Meaning the more number of votes you have, that all depends on how much you are contributing to the World Bank. More is the contribution, more is the number of votes. More is the number of votes, more is the domination. Just a moment. Please have a look at this. Just have a look at this. There. Please remember these points. The World Bank Group has 5 institutions. One is the IBRD, right? It was established in 1945. Kindly look at this. Larger group is called World Bank Group, WBG. And second one is the International Financial Corporation, International Development Association, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. Please look at that. Okay. Yes. Now, so let me go further. Look at the points with respect to International Monetary Fund. Look at this. So this is again established in 1945, located in Washington, D.C. It's a frequently asked question. This is the International Economic Organization. Official languages, same. Strength, same. Latest member is same. Okay, meaning most of the points that are related to IMF and World Bank are one and the same. Look at this. All the members, all the members of IMF are the members of the World Bank. Fine. And the first managing director, in World Bank you call it president for the World Bank. In IMF you say managing director. And that first managing director of IMF was from Belgium, Camille Gut, and present there is a current managing director is Christine Lagarde of France. And kindly see here, we may expect this question this time. We may expect this question this time. It is not just because the IMF is important every time is there in the news. Because very recently the one of the French this courts, she has been convicted. She has been convicted in this one of the old cases. And whenever such type of people who are holding the highest positions in some organization, they are convicted, that will become a big news. And whenever it becomes a big news, that may be a question in our examination. That is the reason why please remember the name Christine Lagarde, who is the managing director for IMF. Am I clear? They may not ask you, so what is the case and all these things. Let's not go into the details. But because she's there in the news for a wrong meaning, I know this for a wrong thing that was done, she has been convicted. But of course, she was not given any punishment. But the court has highlighted the this mistake that was committed by this person. That's it. That is the reason why again she is there in the news. So tomorrow it may be a question for us in the examination. You should not go wrong and you have to make it correctly. Okay. Now, so once again I am opening the document. Look at this. Again the term is 5 years and the goal of IMF is to stabilize the exchange rate. Look at this. So it will try to foster global monetary cooperation. It will secure financial stability, facilitates international trade. It will promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and also try to reduce the poverty around the world. So reduction of the poverty around the world is one of the targets and goals of IMF. But this is the main target for this World Bank. Look at this. Similarly, a member country can contribute money to the common pool that can borrow money for a temporary period of time for settling the balance of payment problem. So what is BOP? We'll see it later when we discuss about economy. But otherwise, what will happen? Let's look into the What exactly is the difference between World Bank and IMF? Comparatively, sometimes we'll also see the World Bank rules are very stringent to get the loan. Yes, it is really a difficult task to get the loan. But compared to World Bank, getting the loans from IMF is a more difficult task, right? And and especially in the year 1969, in IMF we have introduced the SDR, that is called special drawing rights. Kindly remember, this is not the money. SDR is not the money, but this is an account. SDR is an account that is maintained by various countries with IMF. Okay, point number one. Now let's see what exactly is the difference. World Bank is basically concerned with the development. And when you are going for the development, automatically that will reduce the poverty. That is the reason why the purpose of World Bank giving the loans is the development. Hence, you need to invest the money that is given by World Bank in the education, health sector, infrastructure. So that should show the development and that should pave the way for the next generation to enjoy the benefits. Right? Education is not waste, health is not waste, and infrastructure is not a waste. And you are leading towards the development. Clear? And for this purpose, World Bank is giving the loans. But when it comes to the IMF is giving the loans only to stabilize the international economy. Especially after the globalization, you might have understood that if there is any slip in the economy of any country anywhere in the world, that will create a lot of disturbance in the so-called this global market. For example, see here, in America, elections will take place. Instead of someone will be declared elected. Right? So of course, we are all assuming that Hillary Clinton will be, winning the elections. Every prediction is talking about Hillary Clinton. Even the astrologers also spoke about Hillary Clinton. But Donald Trump, turned everything around, and he became the president. Of course, he's the president-elect, and now he's going to take the charge next month, January 20th. So now, when it happens in America, so if you observe Indian market, some other market, so there will be lots of disturbances in these markets. And what is the meaning of the disturbances in the market? I'll tell you when we talk about the economy. But otherwise, you might have heard about the Sensex is going up and coming down, right? So that is nothing but the fluctuations that are happening in the share market, that is the money market. I'll tell you all these points when we discuss about the economy. But otherwise, what will happen? Sometimes if you look at a country, reason may be anything. Majority of the times, it is because of the decisions that are taken by the government of the day, or the decisions that were taken by the previous governments. A country's economy will collapse. Maybe you take the example of Zimbabwe, or in the recent past, you take the example of Greece. So the country's economy will be collapsed. And if the country's economy is collapsed, what is happening? It is not just that country which is affected, but there are so many other countries that are present in the world which are maintaining the trade relations with that country. And all of a sudden, you cannot cut the relations. At the same time, the country which has lost completely their economy, that country has lots of debts. You might have imported so many goods from some other nations, and you need to pay it back. It is not 1, 2, 3 countries, multiple countries will be there, and for various countries you need to give. Because your economy has been collapsed, whatever you receive will be much less when compared to what you give. You need to give more. Then how do you give? No money, economy collapsed. That is called the economic crisis. Obviously, what will happen? So maybe India, maybe some other country, obviously you need to get back your money. Definitely, you'll start putting pressure on the concerned, this nation, and they will be under pressure. If they are under pressure, again, they will collapse further. Right? That is the reason why. So you need to give strength to that nation to rebuild itself. For this reason, such type of country require immediate financial assistance. that country will require immediate financial assistance. Maybe the countries which are very close to that, if that particular country is in any organization like European Union, remaining all the countries will come together to support that country. Example, Greece, right? But otherwise, what will happen? That economy will collapse further, and you are disturbing the trade system at the entire international level. And during that place, what will happen? It is the IMF that will come to the rescue of that particular nation by giving the loans. Basically, you are giving the loan for bailing out that particular country. Bail out in the sense you are under crisis, you have no money. I'll give you the money and you clear all the debts and strengthen your economy. But but you need to pay back all the principal amount along with the interest rate which is decided by IMF. And that interest rate is very, very high when compared to the interest rate of the World Bank. There is no other go for the country except to take it. If you don't take the loan, remaining countries will put pressure on you. If you take the loan, you can clear the loans. Again, you can strengthen your economy and pay it back. Meaning is simple, it becomes very difficult for that country to sustain, in fact. But there is no other go, and IMF will come to the rescue. Clear? So more than pressure, coming for the rescue is considered to be very, very important on the part of the IMF. This is how IMF is bailing out some of the nations in the world. Right? If you don't bail out, what will happen? There will be, instability in the exchange rate. The rates of various currencies will fluctuate. And it is one of the responsibilities of the IMF to maintain the exchange rate, and you should maintain the stability. That is the basic idea. Hope you are getting this. Right? IMF is working for bailing out. Apart from this, you are also working for reduction of the poverty. That's okay. But when it comes to World Bank, the main aim is to, the reduction of the poverty. Otherwise, both are financial institutions and both will give the loans. Am I clear? Now, so we'll look into the details of this. Just to have a look at this. We'll discuss it later. Otherwise, BOP stands for balance of payment. This is the record of all the monetary transactions between a country and the rest of the world. This includes goods, services, financial capital, and financial transfers. So while discussing about economy, let you know all these points. Right, look at this. IMF will promote international economic cooperation, international trade, employment, and exchange rate stability. Look at this. What is the difference between World Bank and IMF? Look at this simple points. Whatever I told you, again, that will be reflected here. If there is a necessity, we'll go for the extended discussion. IMF promotes monetary cooperation internationally and offers advice and assistance to facilitate building and maintaining a country's economy. Yes, it is giving advice and also the assistance. Why? To build and maintain some country's economy. Obviously, if any country that is there under trouble, obviously you need to take the advice and also the assistance. Okay. Next, IMF also provides loans and helps countries develop the policy programs that will solve balance of payment problem if a country cannot obtain financing sufficient to meet the international obligation. Obviously, what happens? There is a balance of payment problem. Your receipts are less when compared to your expenditure. Obviously, that is leading to balance of payment, and you will have lots of pressure on you. And during the time, the loans offered by IMF, right? But each loan is loaded with lots of conditions which are very stringent. Often, meaning generally, whatever the loans that are provided by IMF is in the form of the rescue. So it is like a rescue operation. Country is running out of this, this finances. You have no money. Your economy is under trouble, deep trouble. If you don't take the step immediately, you will be collapsing, right? So you need to some rescue. That rescue operation will be provided by IMF by providing the loan. It will be in the form of rescue for the countries in serious debt. Ultimately, only stabilizes the international trade and eventually results in the country repaying the loan at a rather hefty interest rates, very, very heavy interest rates. Kindly see here. This is important for you to understand that in the concept of the globalization, if there is a loss for one country, it is not just a loss for a single country. All right. If there is a loss for some other country, somewhere in the world, because remaining all the nations are also maintaining trade relations, every country will be affected very drastically. That is the reason why some country will collapse, some country's economy will collapse, and our share market will be affected. That's the reason why the strengthening of the share market will depend on various factors, both internal and also the external. Clear? And when we discuss about the share market as a part of our economy, during that time I'll tell you what are the factors that are contributing for this affecting the share market, rather the economy of some other country. That is the reason why during the times of crisis in some other country, RBI will come out and speak something. The finance minister will come out and speak something. Something is happening somewhere, and why are you coming? Why the Indians are worried? Because of the globalization, every country will be affected, not just India. And it is the government of the day, right? You need to come to jump into the operation to stabilize your own economy. Is that okay? That is the reason why the finance minister will come out and speak something, the people, only to scare the people very, very high. Otherwise, on the name of the fear, the people will keep on selling the shares in the market. Clear? If the people are selling the market, shares in the market, you are withdrawing the money from the market. The more money is withdrawn at the lower prices, all right, that will lead to the shaking up of our economy. That's the reason why, right, it is the day-to-day monitoring that is made by the RBI, day-to-day monitoring that is made by the finance ministry. They have very huge task on their shoulders. Clear? It is not just to observe the economy, but also give the hope to the people of the country that we are there, don't worry, like this. Clear? But out of the fear, what will happen? So many ups and downs will take place in the markets, not because something happened in our market, right? It is because of the something happened in some other economy, and that is affecting our economy. That is the reason why it is not just important to understand the Indian economy, how the Indian economy is affected by the global markets. That is also important. Clear? And especially for the people who are writing the group 1 examination, and also the people who are writing the civil services examination, especially in the mains, you have to be so clear and observe with respect to the international trade. Am I clear? Hence, every point is important for the examination point of view. Is that okay? Once you understand this one, your economy part will be over. Your economy part will be over. That is the reason why economy, the subject economy, requires more understanding, better understanding of the every concept. Clear? Anyways, when we discuss about the economy, we'll have one more round of talks with respect to every aspect, including the share market. Then you will be able to understand more, right? Look at this. The World Bank's purpose is to aid long-term economic development and also to reduce the poverty in the developing countries. It accomplishes this by making technical and financial support available to the countries. Okay, and the World Bank support helps the countries in reforms in efficient economic sectors and implement specific projects such as building healthcare centers, schools, or making clean water and electricity more widely available. World Bank assistance is typically the long term funded by the countries that are members of the bank through the issuing the bonds. Okay, so meaning is simple. Member countries of the World Bank are contributing to the World Bank, and the World Bank will be issuing the this loans to other countries. So this is nothing but the issuing the bonds. Look at this. The World Bank has a pool of about $200 billion with which to offer aid to less developed countries. The bank loans, however, are not used as a type of bailout. Kindly remember, loan will be given for the bailout by IMF and not by the World Bank. Is it okay? Bailout in the sense rescuing the economy of a nation. Okay, but that will be used as a fund for projects that will help the develop an underdeveloped or emerging market nation and make it more productive economically. That is the reason why when you are planning for the development, you should also plan for development of other nations. Okay, live and let live. So because we are living in the globalization market, global market, this is called global village, right? Just like a village, what will happen? If something happens to some person, entire village will come to the rescue of that particular person or that family. In the similar manner, so after the globalization, the entire world has become like a global village. So hence the services are the goods, everything is available across the world. So today, if I want to get something from anywhere in the country, that's possible for me. So because of the globalization, and the globalization has got more strength because of the technical support, whatever I am getting the from electronic support, maybe in the form of internet, right? So that is the reason why. So that the digitalization is also very, very important. Am I clear? Hence, no country can afford to live in isolation. India is also not living any isolation. India has very, very large, relations with various countries across the world. India is a member of World Bank. India is also a member of the IMF. Am I clear? So try to understand these points, whatever I told you. If you did not understand anything like BOP or bailout or something, right? So those things we'll be discussing. So when we touch the this economic concepts, right? So I'll stop at this stage and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.